I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is All the Mods Volcano Block. So today is episode 10, and I tell you what, I feel like I have gotten quite far in just 10 episodes, and today we're going to be getting even farther through this mod pack. But it is World Download Day, so if you're a supporter of any tier, be sure to get access to your World Download over on the Discord, discord.gg/ChosenArchitect, or you can find it linked down in the description below. So be sure to check that out if you're a supporter, like I said, of any tier. Now, back to what I was saying about how we've gotten quite far. We've gotten quite far, and we've expanded quite a bit. We have all of the basic infrastructure now, and now I would say it's time to start gathering building materials to start work on ultimately what is going to be our build and what is going to house all of our mods. And believe it or not, this structure here is just one small part, I think, of what is ultimately going to house multiple mods. And well, this middle platform here that I just set out, that's 21 by 21, is ultimately going to be the center, actually, of this whole thing. All along, you thought this was the center. No, no, no. This is just one of the platforms that are going to extend off of all of the adjacent sides, and it is going to still have the same sort of platform and shape, as this is not symmetrical. So we need some sort of centralized place to be symmetrical, or at least I think we do, because when we get into applied energistics is really done best in a symmetrical setting. I mean, that's how I feel anyways. So without further ado, let's talk about some of the resources we're going to need. Of course, we're going to need andesite. That is what I'm building like my outer areas with. And then of course we have gray concrete and light gray concrete and then cobblestone. So outside of that, that's not too much that we're going to need in order to get these things pasted over. So over here, I have set up a sand generator, which technically we get tons of sand from our mob farm. So that's kind of overkill here. But we have gravel generating here, and then I'm using some of that residual gravel to send into a dissolver. We're actually using some of the alchemistry here, and this is turning it into silicon dioxide, and then that gets piped over into a combiner, and it's just taking the silicon dioxide and turning that and converting it into andesite. So alchemistry is really great for this. It may seem kind of complicated, but in reality, it's just converting one element directly into another. Which is perfect, and this should get us quite a bit of andesite alloy. I meant just andesite, not alloy. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, do I really want to copy this whole thing and move it over here when technically I'm not loving the initial design of this? Yeah, I know, I hate to say it, but I'm not enjoying it much. I think what I should do is I should instead start rebuilding a new structure on at least one of the sides of this, and then copy that onto each side, and then slowly get this sort of setup thing moved into the other things and get it nice and clean looking, and hopefully then completely destroy this whole side and start over. I think that might be a better way to go about this. So one of the things that I try to do is make the builds look good, and I think starting over will definitely allow for that. I'll be able to take setups that we already have going and incorporate them into a better looking area. That's definitely going to be the thing I want to do. So right now I'm trying to get an idea in my head, sort of rounding things out, because applied energistics will eventually be the centralized point of this entire build, and we'll be switching from the R storage to that. So using this sort of setup here, I'm sort of trying to visualize what my controller is going to look like, which will kind of be this shape. And these will end up being my crafters that will be here, and then my crafting CPUs that will be in the back. Basically the computers that allow the crafts to happen. And I think the cables will be routed above us in this particular situation. And then down in the middle will be a nice little pattern of grids that will be connected to one of these channels. So with this in mind, this allows me to visualize how big of an area I'm going to need, because I'm not crazy familiar with applied energistics, as I haven't used it in quite a while. So judging the space of how much I'm going to need for things is really hard to do. So this has me thinking. I'm thinking about maybe changing the idea from an oil rig to something different, and instead going with these magnificent sort of archways and sort of emphasizing the applied energistics that is going to end up being, like I said, the main focus. Now, I am still using the R's flight, by the way, to be able to fly around, and I just found something kind of tricky and probably not intended, and that's the fact that I can pick this up, the ritual, and I can move the ritual without disactivating it or deactivating it, and that means I can move my flight around wherever I really need it, so I can have that security knowing that I'm not going to fall into the lava. Oh, this is hilarious. I, of course, just have to hook up the source relays so that way it does continue to fill this jar. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this darker sort of futuristic theme way more than this. So I think this will end up fitting in a lot better, at least for the future stuff that we're going to have, which is going to be applied energistics. So at this point, the new pads are all built out, and I now added an archway up on the top here. Now I did remove some of the things that were set up over here, and I got this lined up, but moving all of the stuff into this, that is definitely going to pose a challenge. Not everything needs to move just yet, but this is going to probably take the most amount of time. So I've come up with a genius idea, something that I think is going to work phenomenally. And as you can see behind me, I have a vault section, I have a section for tech, a section for power, and a section for magic. All of these things right here are going to be portal rooms. That's right. I think I'm going to handle this a little bit different than I would normally handle things. What I'm planning on doing is having portals that I can teleport to that'll take me to the places where each of these mods are going to be housed. Unfortunately, I can't utilize them fully just yet, but the idea is to use portals from the R's mod to teleport to the different locations, and in which will be away from this particular build and won't look ugly, right? However, this is going to require chunk loading and stuff like that, but that's not too bad if you're playing on a single player world. But I'm excited because this right here is the start. And if you're wondering, I ended up using a text to pixel generator that just generates the text, and then I used the framed slabs and stairs with some concrete to make these structures following the guides. Pretty darn cool. Now, one of the first portals we can actually set up is one that takes us into the Nether, because we need blaze rods in order to make all of this wireless stuff work. So for us to be able to integrate into a storage network, we're going to need to make ender chest and ender tanks. Those are going to be huge in our setups. So in order to get those, we need blaze rods. So since we're going to be heading out there, I might as well set up one of the magic portals. We can have this magic portal that we are going to put here. We can have like this one go to the Nether, and that one go to the end, and then this will be for Britannia and ours. I think that'll fit perfectly. Over here we have all of the different tech mods, including like industrial foregoing and all of the stuff. I was kind of using the quest. And then there's like 4 different sets of power mods that I would like to use, in industrial foregoing included, mechanism, and then of course bigger reactors and power. So we have a couple portals there. So let's make a jetpack. I know we have this sort of flight, but this won't go everywhere, right? We will run out of flight if we just decide to jump into a portal. And so we need to find ourselves a place, but there's a couple of things that I need to prep up to make this all possible. And so to be able to make a portal, we need a location that we can go to. And there's a couple of ways that we can go about doing this. One of them, to be able to make the portal, is to make a scroll, right? So we are going to need ourselves a warp scroll. The cool part about this is all we have to do is right click to set a location, and we can actually do that right here. And we can make a permanent one that will always teleport us to this location. So let me just go ahead and shift right click right where my feet's at, and this has now stored my location. We can turn this one into a permanent one, but the cool thing is we're going to use this one in the Nether, and this is going to allow us to make a portal to that location. So I'm going to save this one, but let's go ahead and make this one permanent, basically allowing us to activate it at any time. If I was to use it right now, it would teleport me there, but it would consume the warp scroll. So to make this permanent, we need to have a location set to it, and then we are going to use 2 ender pearls and some blaze dust to make a stabilized warp scroll. Now this is a pretty cool operation, so yes, this should be able to utilize the one that I already had the location set to, and here we go. Bloop. Perfect. So yeah, stabilize warp scroll, and when I use this, it's going to summon a portal and allow me to go through it, and that will teleport me to that location that I was just at. Wow, it even looks like it knows what direction you were looking in because it faced me down in that. And then this portal will disappear. This is only there temporarily. It'll eventually fade away after a moment of time. Now, we want to make these portals, which will be very similar to this. We want to make them, but have them permanent in the world. And that's where just a normal warp scroll is going to work. So I need to make myself a jetpack, so that way we can find ourselves one of the structures, the Nether fortresses, in the Nether, right? So let me make just a simple jetpack. It actually doesn't need to be anything crazy. I think it's called iron jetpacks that's in this. Iron jetpacks. Let's see. Yeah, it is called iron jetpacks, but all I see is IC2 stuff. Am I missing something? Are these not used? Is there not a normal jetpack? Oh boy. I'm over here stressing about a jetpack and I forgot I had the rending gale. So I have the rending gale. I should be able to utilize this. Shift right click for it to start consuming feathers. And since we have a mob farm, I have plenty of feathers. And this will allow me to fly through the air effortlessly. Yeah. Quite powerful that thing is. So into the Nether we go. Now we do have our stabilize, so we should be able to get back, and we should be able to set a warp scroll. So let's at least get our initial process going, and hopefully we can find ourselves a structure here out here. That's of course the goal. Now I will enable my mini-map for this. So if I go into my map settings, I should be able to turn on my mini-map. And that will allow me to see my coordinates, because that is going to be very important. And it looks like there's one to the southwest. If I just put myself to the southwest and I check my Y coordinates, we should be arriving at it. And there we are. Perfect. Okay, so I do want to find a structure sort of inside somewhere. So that way we can set the location to respawn here. Oh boy, I think this is a good spot right here. Oh, and there's a blaze spawner like right there. That is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to set my warp scroll here, so that way we will teleport to this location and we can always come back. Now, what I need to do is just simply get back. Oh boy, thank goodness for this portal. And away I go. Oh, did it? Oh, it spawned this through the portal? Oh, I didn't know you could use the portal to send entities through. Ooh, that could be powerful. Anyways, now that we're back, let's go ahead and grab a source jar and let's build ourselves a portal. Now to make the portal, we can use source stone, and we should be able to also make it look however we want. So if we wanted this to look like normal bricks, we can make it look like bricks or a darker material. Let's actually use the darker like stone material. Or we could also make ourselves some mirror weave. So mirror weave is a good one. Let's see, it's right here. And if I had enough to make mirror weave, you could build it out of the mirror weave material. And that would essentially allow you to make the portal look like any block. It's sort of an illusion-esque block. So let's go ahead and place this in, and we'll get the portal set up. I don't know if I think I want these lifted up off the ground. So I'm going to set it up like this and do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we will build it like this. We'll have a 3 wide opening, just like so. Now, to be able to get this to function and to create this, we're going to need a full jar of source. So let's go ahead and drag our source jar over here and just place it nearby. And then I just need to simply toss this into the portal, I believe. And it should work. Does it actually not work with the stone versions? I mean, this is supposed to work. Let's break the source jar and replace it. Maybe that's causing some issues. Put it right in front of it. And then we will toss this again. Huh, I wonder, does this not make portals that are cross-dimensional? That I don't know. I got 2 source jars. Let's try it again. And that didn't work. And that doesn't work either. Interesting. It says you can use any variant, but then again, I may not be reading everything correctly. I will try it with just the normal source stone. And it doesn't even say anything about it not working cross-dimensionally. So I guess the only thing we can do is just take another scroll and we can test it, because I can make these warp scrolls. They're not super expensive. And let's try... so it might not work cross-dimensionally. So that is an issue. Also, by the way, you can change the way that the portals look, apparently, by right-clicking with the wand on here. You can make it look like this portal or the end. I kind of like that portal better. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, but that's how I'm going to be setting up these portals. They will work in the overworld, it does appear. And I've got to figure out if there is a way that we can get this to work cross-dimensionally. So it is begun. Oh boy, I am going to start transferring my items and moving my lectern over here so that way I can start to clear this stuff. Now, thankfully, a lot of this stuff can be moved over with the copy-paste gadget. For example, this entire setup, I should be able to copy it with the copy-paste gadget and paste it into the new area that I assign for the Rs mod. So we'll just kind of have to see how that goes. But for right now, I need to put the upgrades in here for the pipes and hopefully pull all of these items out. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. So this does 32 items. This does 64 items. And I think I have enough to make this. Oh boy, the ultimate pipe upgrade going in this bad boy. And this should start sending out all of the items. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the actual... I'm going to break the lectern for right now. And what I want to do is I want to relink this temporarily to just the chest. I just want the chest moved over. I don't want it to accidentally start pulling out of my drawers. That would be a bad idea. So I'm going to place this back down, place this on it, and then just relink the inventories. So put them back, and then it should only transfer the items that are in these storages. And there it goes. It is slowly but surely filling this, or at least it's trying to fill. Yep, it's probably going to take some time. It does appear to be going in here, just doesn't update all the time. At least I think it is. I have no idea. I need to check and see if this has a limit. Nope, it is pulling from it. We just can't see it actually going into the storages. So these should be draining one by one. And these are diamond chests, so these should have more storage. So you would think. These seem to have way more storage in them. So... hopefully this will hold more than what we currently have. So it is now empty, and just to put this in perspective, all of these colossal chests were just about completely filled, if not all of them were filled. And this fit all of those inside of one storage with a couple of slots left. So that just puts in perspective, the same size of the diamond is about equal to 4 of these colossal chests, the normal wooden ones. It was officially teardown time, and I'm getting all of the stuff that's in the main area tore down. And there's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to need to do to the mob farms. I am going to be tearing the mob farms down. I know we just set them up, but we have tons of storage now, and all of these, when broken, will retain the items that are inside. So we'll just make sure to keep these all stored, and then we'll reset them back up wherever we set up our new mob farms. But for right now, I have plenty of items. I've just got to get this whole island just tore down and moved. I have no problem losing out on my mana and stuff. I just need to get this stuff set up over here, and then I can start worrying about where everything goes. Now, before I tear down the mob farm, well, I'm going to want Silk Touch to pick up the stuff, so let's actually craft a Silk Touch book. And this is pretty cool. You can actually craft enchants with Ars Nouveau. So I'm going to just put all of the ingredients required for this in here. It's just really 2 diamonds and 2 emeralds is the main thing, and then a book. And then it's going to need 9,000 source in order to craft this, which I think that equates to... is it just using 1 tank? Okay, so 1 tank is maybe equivalent to 10,000 source, because it ended up just using all of that. I thought it was going to need multiple tanks, but no, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So there we go. So all we need now is just an anvil, and we can just put this on here. right? So we'll just drop an anvil down. And then we'll put this on our normal pickaxe for right now. And since we can just craft more of those. And now I'm going to just immediately disable this farm by grabbing that. Oh boy. And as you can see, we can pick it up. Also, this is a problem that I've been having. These guys become invincible. I really don't understand what's going on. But once you punch them once, then they're there forever. And even if you kill them, you have to like re-log, I think, to get them to disappear. So yeah, same thing's gonna happen over here. Just gonna pick all of it up and it should just go into my inventory. So I'm still debating on whether or not I'm absolutely crazy for tearing this down and wanting to set up a much more simplistic base with more organization. I don't know. I feel like I know I'm doing a lot of work. This is a lot of extra work that I didn't need to do, but I feel is necessary, and I hope you guys appreciate that, because I was just not happy with the layout of this area, and I think it was going to hinder my creativity, to be fair, because I like to have nice areas set up for stuff, and this just wasn't cutting it for me. So now the last thing left to break down is my R's setup, and I wanted to make this last because I wanted to make sure I had enough source to maintain my creative flight throughout this area. So yes, I'm going to break all of this stuff down, and it will eventually need to be reset up in a new location. But like I said, this is all worth it. A lot of time has gone by in this one episode, several hours, and it's going to take several more hours to get all of the work that's right here set back up. But I think inevitably this is going to be so cool looking. It is going to be so worth it. Now I have a really interesting idea. Remember those Ars Nouveau blocks that kind of looked like the sky? I kind of want to fill this whole area with it, and then down here have some mods going on down underneath. And then this kind of look hidden, and you still go through the portals. So it's almost as if like the setups are not there, but in reality, they're like right here at our fingertips, like right here at our base. So what I'm doing now is getting some module, if I'm saying that right, modular areas set up. And I think I'm going to go ahead and remove this lantern for right now, because I'm going to place one of these like little modules underneath every section of this. And that'll give us 9 spaces that will have these huge platforms to work with. And we can teleport to them via the upper platforms here. So that's going to give me some nice little space. And I was thinking of just like teleporting into the middle here. And these could be where we have all of the like clean automation hidden in the background. Well, minus the one that we use for our mob farms. We can probably house a passive and hostile mob farm all in the same little area. Now, because I got rid of my power, I'm actually using a regular coal generator to keep these things powered. And I'm using the copy paste gadget. So the thing I need to do is just select a corner while I'm in copy mode, and I will just select this corner, and then I will go up here and I will shift right click this corner. And so now the whole area should be copied, and I can go into paste mode, and I just need to line this up like so, like this. And then I think if I anchor this and then I shift, I can bring this up. There we go. And I can unanchor this. And now whenever I paste, this should be the exact same as all the others. Yeah, look at that. Oh, and it did try to copy that. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that on all of them. But I should just now be able to just click this in and hope for the best. Yeah, I'm missing concrete, so I'm just going to have to resupply all of my concrete and continue to paste these in. Now that I have them all in, of course, the ultimate goal is to have these walled up, and they will be walled up. That's going to be, of course, something that's done in the future once I have more resources, because it's going to take a lot of blocks to fill these gaps in, and I mean a lot. So I'm going to definitely need concrete, or whatever I use for that, which will probably be concrete. I'm going to need that automated by that point, but we can start to use these areas now. And the first thing I want to set up, which I think is going to go right here in the center, I got to get my reactor set back up so we get power going. Now, to reset up the R stuff, now that I got my generator back up and running, I'm just going to double what I had initially. I'm going to put it in this little corner. So I have these guys setting here, and they're getting ready to get the farm up and running again. So now that I have my R's area set up, let's go ahead and set our scroll, the warp scroll, and then I'm going to activate one of the portals that's over here. Under our magic section. So this should function. I know we tried to do it earlier. Realize now that cross-dimensionally does not work. So we'll figure out another solution to that. But for now, we'll just have 2 areas dedicated. And I think the left side will dedicate to this, to Ars Nouveau. And let's go ahead and we just need a full jar of source. And we just need to get the portal built. And I am going to utilize this brick right here. Now, apparently the corners, they don't really matter. So you can make the corners whatever you want, and I'm probably going to use stairs for the corners, and that'll look pretty darn cool. So place my source jar, and then toss it in, and we have ourselves a portal, and then use the wand on here to change the way it looks, and that looks pretty darn cool. And then, of course, we'll set up some way to get here, some way to get up there with some stairs, and this will be pretty awesome. Now, eventually, we're going to have some ways to teleport back quite easily, and we'll probably end up using, I don't know, probably RF tools for that. Just something that we can put in our hand and just right-click. That's not kind of crazy like this is, where you have to build this, like, chunky portal. Yeah, because that could get kind of old. Also, you can change this. Does that mean it's going to always look like this portal every time? Because that's kind of cool, if that's the case. And we warp back home. Very nice. I also moved and got my flight set back up and automated. So now I don't have to have or deal with flight anxiety, which is the one thing that this thing causes if you don't have source automated for it. Now, I know today's episode was a bit crazy, and yes, it definitely was and felt crazy on my end as well. I spent a lot of hours today working on this project, getting it all set up, and you guys can download this world blank as a template, which is pretty cool. You can just download it. There'll be none of these modded items in the world, just straight the build. And of course, well, the lanterns will stay. But outside of that, you can download it just as a plain template where this is where you spawn in your world if that's something you're interested in. And you'll also be able to have a downloaded version that will have all of my modded items and all of the stuff in my storage as well, if that's something you're interested in. If you're a supporter of any tier, be sure to get that world download. It'll be linked down in the description below. Just join the Discord and check out all of the awesome premium features that you get when you potentially subscribe as a premium member over on Discord. So check it out. I'd really appreciate it. Now, enough promoting. I think it's time to say goodbye for today's episode. And if you guys did enjoy, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And give this video a huge thumbs up, just for the time alone that it took for me to make the episode. Because my goodness, it was a lot. It was a lot, definitely. But guys, I hope you did enjoy. And of course, I will see you in the next episode. And oh, I almost forgot. Now it's time to thank the supporter of today's video, because I ended up moving the setup for it. It is now up here. So now I access it from the back, and we have the screen set up here, and I have it crunched down, only displaying 3 entries. How cool is that? So we can edit and sup main, and there we go. I have it set to display count of 3. And now I just got to add today's supporter. And that amazing support is going to go to QZeal. Thank you so much for your amazing support over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member. And as you just heard right there, that is the Discord notification sounds. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Join my Discord, discord.gg/ChosenArchitect, and join the amazing community of over 27,000 members. And potentially support and get access to these world downloads and our server, which we do actually have the Volcano Block server up and running as of the time of this recording. So check it out. Guys, I thank you so much. Thank you to all my supporters, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye!